Hey, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you're from. My name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0, and obviously you are on the TwoSistas website, and we do have another sister who may or may not be coming on today, and we do apologize for that. I know that she is traveling and may be incognito at the moment with all the travel stuff going on in the world today. So today, excuse me, for our East Coast listeners and viewers, we are on a little late today. We have an amazing guest on today. I'm going to introduce her in just a moment. Just a reminder, and this is such perfect timing because Wednesday is one of Carol Sue's favorite days, Wellness Wednesday. So without further ado, our guest today, you know, when I had the opportunity to meet with her a couple months ago, I really was, she is, gosh, she's like that friend. You instantly connect when you first meet her, genuine, real. And Cindy, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I just, you know, you're like, I was sitting across from you, obviously on Zoom today. And I think it's always amazing. East Coast and West Coast, and here we are. So welcome to the TwoSistas podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here today.
Wonderful. And, you know, everyone's journey in the wellness arena obviously is very different and very unique. But what I find interesting about your story, coming to where you are today with doTERRA and oils and what you do with them, is because of something personal that you went through. And so I'm just wondering if you can kind of fill us in with your journey on how you got to where you are with doTERRA today.
Yeah, absolutely. So about 6 years ago, a friend of mine approached me because she knew that I suffered from headaches, chronic headaches and migraines and that kind of thing. And she said to me, have you ever tried essential oils? And I looked at her and I was like, yeah, I use them all the time. And she said, oh, really, which ones? And I said, well, avocado oil and olive oil. And then she started laughing and then I started laughing, but I didn't know why we were laughing. The crazy thing is that 6 years ago, I didn't even know what an essential oil was. I don't know if I was living under a rock or what. And so after we got that out of the way and she handed me a little bit of peppermint oil, I sort of rolled my eyes and thought, all right, I guess I'll give this a try. I've tried everything else under the sun. And I was pretty amazed that just dabbing a little bit on when I felt that I was, you know, kind of a headache was coming on, worked. Of course, I was incredibly skeptical, so I just chalked it up to the placebo effect. And chronic headache came around again. So I thought, oh, I have that stuff she gave me. I have that peppermint she gave me. I'll give it another try. And sort of the rest is history. We started to explore the essential oils for other things that were going on in our family. Something would pop up. My youngest would get maybe some ear pain, and I'd you know, check to see what we had and give that a try. Maybe a tummy ache, check to see what we had, give that a try. And so we just slowly started to make over our medicine cabinet. Fast forward 6 years, I am a doTERRA essential oil wellness advocate and educator, and I have an international team of people who help people with their physical, emotional, and mental health goals around the world. So it's it's pretty great.
Right, in a nutshell. And I mean, but there's so much more depth to that, of course. And again, I think your story is amazing, that where you go from where you're in that suffering mode, you know, from migraines, and I don't want to say having that resistance, but okay, you know, I'll try this, I've tried everything else. But it's that you took control of something that maybe you thought was out of your control.
Yeah.
You come from a place where migraines, and now you're into the essential oils, and your migraines are few and far between, if any.
It's one of the things that really excites me every day when I go to work. And I feel like work, it has to be in air quotes, because what I do is empower people to understand that there are natural alternatives. And as busy women, many of us are moms, many of us have young kids. It can be overwhelming, but if you can do things preventively and proactively, then that really does help you and your family in the long run. And just detoxifying, just, making sure that you have natural products in your home is so, so important. And again, I really like to simplify things for people. So for me, it's sort of a ditch and switch kind of mentality. What little steps and little changes can you make? And eventually those, become real big changes.
Wow. And that's so powerful, because it really puts the essence of what somebody is going through back to them, that they have control over the outcome. Whereas for somebody maybe who is also in your shoes, and I know that there's many Americans out there that suffer from terrible migraines. I've had them few and far between, but nothing like people on a regular basis go through. But to know that they can kind of take control, a little bit more control back. And I think that's essential when you're talking, of course, overall wellness.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
When we can be empowered to take care of ourselves and take care of our family, and have a first line of defense that is, in our medicine cabinet, that doesn't have any toxins, that doesn't have any synthetics, that doesn't have any chemicals, that doesn't have any harmful negative side effects. That's huge. That's huge. And I use the word empowering a lot, but I think it really makes sense in this context, right?
Well, absolutely. Because when somebody is looking at alternative wellness ways and looking into essential oils, I know that I barely just touch the surface. Like, there's so much more that I want to know. So to kind of dive into that, and to help with whatever I may be going through, or my husband, or my son, of course, is just a way to kind of give back, but in such a, well, I don't know how to describe it, I can't say that word. I'm not going to even attempt to say it, but in such a wellness way, where you are doing something that's so positive on so many different levels. And that must make you feel good. But from where you're from where you started out, which I think is amazing, to having an international team, that's pretty wild. I think that's amazing. So
thank you. Oh, thank you. It really is about, doTERRA has a motto, changing the world one drop at a time. And so my business was really built by having conversations with people and introducing them to an option that maybe they weren't so familiar with before. So give it a try. I don't know if it would be helpful to talk about the 3 ways to use essential oils, or even what in fact they are, for people who are listening who were like me 6 years ago, who didn't have a clue. So what do you think?
Yeah, definitely. Let's hear more about that, for sure.
Okay, so let me start off by what the heck are they? First of all, essential oils come from nature. They come from plants and seeds and barks and petals and trees and flowers and grasses. They come from nature, and they basically protect that plant. And so we harvest them, we source them, we distill them, and we bottle them into very concentrated essential oil that you can use in your own home. And the 3 ways that you can use them are topically. You can put them where it hurts. So like I was mentioning, for any kind of head tension, you would put it on the temples, or maybe a little bit on the neck, or even behind the ears, where a lot of people get some pain. Let's say your kid has growing pains, you can rub some there. You maybe hurt your hip a little bit. So putting it where it hurts, even rubbing it on the tummy for an upset stomach, or on the chest to help open up the airways. So put it where it hurts. You can use them aromatically. That's basically a fancy way of just saying smell them. You can smell them straight from the bottle. You can put a couple of drops in your palm and rub your palms together and then deeply inhale. And you can also use them in a diffuser that I always have going. This one behind me has a combination of peppermint and wild orange, which is a great recipe for energy and focus. And when you smell essential oils, they actually hit the olfactory bulb and limbic system in the brain. And so they change your mood faster, you can hear that, faster than you can snap your fingers. And so it's a very, very powerful way to help with mood, help with stress, help with anxiety, help with sleep, all those types of things, as well as many other things. Obviously, if you're smelling something, it's going to help with respiratory too. And then the third way to use, make sure it's a high quality essential oil like doTERRA, is internal use. That means that you could put a drop of lemon oil in your water or tea. Helps with detoxification, also helps hydrate you because it tastes really good. You can also put maybe a drop under your tongue, or they also have veggie caps, which are empty capsules that you pour oils into, because not oils taste really good. And then you get the benefits that way. And then with all that being said, there are safety precautions. Please always check with your trusted practitioner if you have any questions as well.
And thank you so much for saying that and describing that, because, you know, you mentioned internal use, which when we had our little chit chat, I never knew. I mean, I had all these doTERRA oils. I'm like, well, what do I do with these? And I certainly will be doing a potion for my energy and focus, because this week it's been, I don't know what's happening. I think just with, you know, tax season, whatever, you know, always
life. It's life. And then for those of you who are wondering, you know, oh, this seems a little bit confusing and how am I going to remember all of this? doTERRA keeps it really simple. And if the bottle says supplement facts on it, you know that it's safe for internal use. So I always recommend, and definitely for all of my clients, they get a really good resource guide or reference book. I have a couple behind me. And that's very, very helpful too.
Oh, these are such great, you're given such great details, but in such a way where, I mean, it's just so informing. So I'm so appreciative of that. And I get excited every time I think about it. Like, you know, before I got on the podcast, and I'm looking at my to-do list, I'm like, where is my energy and focus? Well, hello.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is that using essential oils does not have to be hard. It does not have to be complicated. It's really hard to mess it up. Again, safety precautions need to be taken, and I can go into some level of detail with you if you'd like. But I think that if people are curious about trying, now is the best time. Now is the best time.
And if you could just describe the energy and focus concoction again for me, please.
Yeah. So there are a few different recipes. One of my favorites are just using wild orange and peppermint. Depending on the diffuser you have, and let's talk a little bit about diffusers. So diffusers are little machines that you typically add water to, and then you just add some drops of essential oil to. It's really important to get a medical grade plastic high quality diffuser, because otherwise the essential oils can eat away at the diffuser, and then you sort of get those plastic chemicals and particles going in the air, and that's sort of the exact opposite of what we're all trying to do. So make sure it's a high quality diffuser. People always ask me, how much oil do I add? So I always recommend starting with a few drops. You can always add. It's a little harder to take away, but you can always add. So between 3 and 8 drops, you know, start with 2. You know, if you can smell it, then it means that that's enough. And every diffuser is a little bit different. There are diffusers that work on USB ports. There's battery powered diffusers. There's wall plug-in diffusers. There's car diffusers. Diffusers can even be jewelry. There's diffuser earrings and necklaces and bracelets. I even use my hair as a diffuser. So I'll put a little essential oil into my hands, rub my hands together, and just kind of scrunch, because every time I move my hair, I'm smelling it. And you can do that too. So it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be hard. So peppermint opens up the airways. It's invigorating, it's oxygenating, and it smells good. And that is one of the reasons that it's a fan favorite. It also does a lot of other things in terms of, I kind of call it the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. So that it was the first one that I used for my head tension. And it also helps bring your body temperature down naturally. So hot flashes, fevers, or just on a hot day, putting a little bit behind your neck is very, very helpful, very cooling and tingling. It is, what else? It can help settle a stomach as well if you're feeling a little uncomfortable or nauseous. So it's just a fantastic oil. And then wild orange, this is my challenge. I don't think you can smell wild orange and not smile. It's just that good. It is a beautiful, beautiful, uplifting, invigorating smell. And then that also helps with focus. So you get the peppermint, you get the wild orange together. They're a really good focus blend. If you add rosemary to that, lots of clinical studies on rosemary that help with cognition and memory. So if you have somebody who's studying for a test and they put that oil combo in their diffuser, and then they smell that before the test, that memory recall is going to be even better.
Wow. And, obviously with essential oils, like I said, I've had mine for a few years now, obviously not knowing what to do with them. Thank God I met you. And,
yes.
They've been around for essential oils have been
thousands
of years. And I'm just wondering why and I'm kind of thinking out loud here, why to a certain degree that we don't hear about it more. So
you will. So if I can brag on doTERRA for a little bit, I think that would be important. So not all essential oils are created equal. Okay, that's really, really important to know. And I have a lot of practitioners on my team, acupuncturists, chiropractors, naturopaths, massage therapists, physical therapists. And in that practitioner realm, they throw the word criminal around. It's really criminal that essential oils are, let me put it this way. Essential oils are not regulated by the FDA, which basically means that anybody can slap the word pure on an oil bottle and sell it. And it doesn't have to be pure. It needs to have like 1 drop of the essential oil in it. And then it can have a whole bunch of junk, chemicals, fillers, synthetics, the things that are harmful to us that we really don't need in our bodies, don't want in our bodies. And so if you grab an essential oil that is not from a high quality company and you're getting that extra junk in it, that can be incredibly harmful. And that's why we call it criminal, because consumers are unaware. In some ways, they're getting the wool pulled over their eyes because the bottle says pure. Why wouldn't we believe that? But you have to be incredibly careful. So 6 years ago, as I was getting into essential oils, I did research because I knew nothing and I was super skeptical. And I had young kids at the time. So I thought, well, what am I going to, I need to make a really smart decision. What I appreciated and still today appreciate about doTERRA is that they are a science company. They are the oil that is used in top research universities, Duke, Harvard, Johns Hopkins, Vanderbilt, I could go on and on. St. Elizabeth's in Kentucky, we actually partner with them, and it's the doTERRA Integrative Oncology Center. So they're doing research with essential oils for before, during, and after cancer care. Huntsman University uses essential oils in their research as well. We are the gold standard. And so if you are ready to learn more or explore about essential oils, make sure it is a high quality company and a high quality product. I can't stress that enough. And so the other thing is that we are the first and only to have pharmaceutical grade lavender. That is a commitment that doTERRA is making for every single one of our oils. That process takes about a year, and we will be doing that each year for, our whole product, our catalog of products. And so that's amazing. That's amazing. That means that we really are in a class by ourselves.
Wow. And I had no idea that doTERRA was that. They're not just a company selling essential oils.
Mm-mm.
So much more than that.
Yeah, really, really on the front lines because, and again, with our sourcing practices. So how do we ensure that our oils are pure, right? It's one thing for me to just say this. We are the only company that has full transparency. So there's a lot number on every single bottle on the very bottom. And you can go to our website and you can type that in and you can see everywhere and every test that your oil has been through. The only essential oil company to do that. Why? Because nobody else is able to. They're not able to do it. You're not going to want to know what steps the other ones did or didn't take, right? And we are very proud. We do in-house testing as well as third-party, neutral third-party testing. And then let me just get to sourcing really quickly. Ethical and sustainable sourcing, and we source all over the world. Many of our oils come from remote regions in third world nations. They're hard to get to. That's why our pricing is different on each product. If it's easy to get to, like lemon and wild orange, it's going to be less expensive than, let's say, frankincense, which comes from Somalia, from the boswellia tree, which grows off the side of cliffs in very remote villages. That's hard to get to.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Frankincense is one of our most precious oils. It's one of our most expensive oils. But we do a tremendous amount of philanthropy wherever, both in the United States and abroad, wherever we are. And doTERRA really leads with the heart, and our philanthropy is quite overwhelming in a very positive way.
Wow. Thank you so much for, filling us in on that. And I know that a lot of people looking at different companies also look at the ethical and sustainable aspect of that company. I had no idea that, honestly, doTERRA was so innovative. Like, it's amazing.
It's amazing. And I'm so proud to partner with them. I mean, I think that, I can hold my head up high, and I am happy to be a part of the company, and I'm happy to be using the products from my family and me and sharing them. That's right. That's what we need at the end of the day. We need to feel like that.
Right, exactly. So I want to talk a little bit, kind of shift the conversation a little bit, because
Sure.
what I find very interesting in your bio is that you and your husband train guide dogs for the blind.
Yeah. So yeah. So, and hopefully you don't hear her in the background. So this is really interesting. It was actually our 15-year-old son, he was 14 at the time, who saw a documentary on, I think it was Netflix, called Pick Up the Litter. And he came to us and he said, hey, do you think this is something we could do? And we sort of looked at each other and said, well, I don't know, let's fill out the forms and let's talk about it and see. And the timing is perfect because my youngest just started high school. My oldest just started college. So I think this whole puppy thing was sort of filling the void. My brother's leaving. What am I going to do? And it wasn't a puppy ploy because our boys have grown up with dogs their whole lives. So it wasn't a ploy. And we looked into it, and the organization is called Guide Dogs for the Blind, and they look for volunteer puppy raisers. And the puppy raisers are trained. It's a commitment. You have monthly meetings at the beginning. You have weekly meetings. You go on outings with the puppy club, other people who are doing this. So there's all ages and levels of different dogs. And we decided that sounded like an amazing opportunity. And the fact that our 14-year-old, now 15, came to us and said, I want to do this because it's meaningful and it's something that our family can do together. As a mom, my heart melted, right? And I thought, I'm in because we absolutely have the opportunity to help somebody who so badly needs this puppy to have independence in their life. But also, selfishly, I wanted to hang out with my kid. And then my kid wants to hang out with me, and we have a common ground, and we're both beginners. So yeah, it's amazing. And they have, I don't know that this is in all 50 states. I know for sure California and Oregon, I think Texas. I'm not sure what other states, but Guide Dogs for the Blind is the nonprofit organization. And so we raise, train, cuddle, love, socialize the puppy for about 12 to 15 months. And then they go away to puppy college where they are more formally trained and assessed. And I know, and the hope is that they will make it to be a guide dog for somebody who is seeing impaired. The truth is, though, that once they get to college, only about 40% of the dogs make it. It's tough. It's tough to make the cut. It's a serious job for these dogs, right? So if they don't make it, then there are other organizations that will train them. And then if they don't make it to any of those, we do have the option to adopt her, which we will, if that comes to that.
Wow. And I love the part about going to the puppy club.
Yeah.
That must be so much fun.
It is. It is. And these dogs are amazing. They're bred for this. There's a lot of science that goes into guide dogs for the blind as well. And they truly take care of these dogs, from start to finish. So it's a beautiful organization, and we're just so proud to be a part of it.
That's wonderful. Have your kids or your son that was helping you along with this when you first started, has there been a favorite dog? Or I'm sure that it's very hard when you've got to let the dog go to puppy college.
Yeah, so Janice, we don't know yet. This is our first puppy. So Kalimba, we got Kalimba in September. So this is new for us. We got Kalimba in September. So she's almost 6 months old now. And will it be hard? Oh, 100%. I mean, and because she's a guide dog, a puppy guide dog in training, our job is to socialize her. So we take her as many places as we can. She's suited up in her official green jacket. So if you see a dog in a green jacket, that's the real deal. There are other organizations that I think have different colors, maybe blue, but it's an official dog. And so, we take her pretty much wherever we go. So bonding with her is, the feelings are real. And will we cry? Yeah. Will it be tough? Sure. But we keep telling ourselves that somebody else needs her more.
Wow.
I mean, you're going to make me start crying now.
Oh my God, I'm getting the chills thinking about that.
I know. I need some wild orange. Here we go.
I think I have my oils behind me. I need to grab some. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yes, somebody else needs her more. And it's just an amazing organization. It truly is. And these dogs are incredible.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing, sharing that with us. And, what you and your family are doing for that organization, I think just is amazing. And we need more people to, in that position that can do that. So if you're interested in learning more about that, obviously check out your local, organizations in your own communities for sure. Is there a website maybe that they can go that people?
I think it's just Guide Dogs for the Blind. And then even before that, I would recommend watching that documentary, Pick of the Litter. It's fantastic. And it really does give you a sense of what this whole process and program are like. We actually just rewatched it, which is crazy because the first time we watched it, we didn't even know that this is something that we would be doing. And now we watched it again and we were like, oh yeah, it's real. These are all the things we do.
Wow, that is amazing. And, Cindy, I want to thank you so much for being on with us today. And I do apologize again. Carol Sue did send me a message. She's in the midst of traveling. And as we all know, these days, traveling can be a little kooky. But I really appreciate your in-depth knowledge. I know that we are definitely going to have you on again. At some point, you'll meet my sister.
Yes,
obviously.
I know. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes. But how can our viewers and listeners get a hold of you in reference to your doTERRA essential oils?
Yeah, so I try to keep things really simple. I have a website, which is my name, cindyvallone.com, CINDY. V as in Victor, ALLONE, cindyvallone.com, and you'll see a doTERRA tab up there. I offer 30-minute complimentary Zoom wellness consults where you can ask any questions. We can talk about your specific health and wellness goals. I'll give you some suggestions and recommendations on how to get started in the most economical way. If you're in the United States, I will also mail you 2 custom samples after our wellness consult because I need to chat with you before I know what to send you. So I like to offer that as well, a little trial of things that you might be curious about. I am on Facebook. I have a Facebook educational, oil educational group. It's called Oil Essentials with Cindy Vallone. And then on Instagram, I'm Cindy Vallone 123. So I just try to simplify my whole life. Pretty much if you have my name, you'll be able to find me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that information with us. And I'll make sure that your website gets posted below the live of this video and also in the show notes. So on that note, I just want to say it was so perfect having you on today, especially on Wellness Wednesday. And what we like to share, Carol still always loves to share. This is one of her favorite days, of course, where it's not about the money amount. It's about creating and sharing that ripple effect with maybe an unsuspecting person. Maybe it's paying for the veteran who's standing behind you, paying for the coffee, and doing it anonymously. Think of how that creates the ripple effect and just kind of spreads the wealth around in such an amazing way. And on that note, I just want to thank you so much again for being on today, Cindy. I loved having you on.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's been fun.
Wonderful. And again, everybody, my name is Janice, aka Wellness Diva 5.0. I've been upgraded and I'm staying there. I'm not going below 5.0. Got to work on 6.0 and above. That's okay. And with TwoSistas, of course, and we will be on tomorrow. Traveling, hopefully she'll be at her destination at 8 a.m. for Trending Thursday. Thank you again. And remember, go out and make it a great one. Create your ripple effect. What will that be for you? Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.